Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth
Hey,
Lounge, episode number 160, with Addy, and Pink, and me, apparently.
Hey.
Oh, Jesus Christ, well, that was on a delay.
Pigs, Pigs taking up my gimmick. We do share a body after all, so
That or he started
I'm
using
infecting
fucking
him.
dial-up, okay. Alright, well, today's a good day for you guys to be, trying to interrupt me, too, because I got, like, no fucking sleep last night, so I am super fucking out of it. I'm sure you can
Alright,
tell
so
based on my
I'm-
voice.
I'm stealing away all of your sleep. Because freaking my depression's been hitting me real hard, so I spend most of the week sleeping. And the thing is, because I'm nocturnal otherwise, I can't actually sleep for long times. So I just I spend 2 hours awake, and then I go to sleep for an hour, and then I spend another 2 hours awake, and it just keeps doing that, and it's annoying.
I believe it.
I can't say I've ever had any experience anything like that. Ordinarily, when I go to sleep, it's like full on knock my ass out for 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah, I've never been a strong sleeper, and that was actually a health hazard when I was really small. Because guess what? Not getting enough sleep can set off freaking epileptic seizures, and that's not good.
Oh no.
Oh, man. Alright. Pink, you got anything going up on your channel this week, man?
No, but I do want to get back into recording Guilty Gear because it's been several weeks since I played that, and I've been wanting to for several weeks now. So if we don't do anything later today, I'll probably be doing that by my lonesome, and then that'll be coming out over the week.
Alright. Eddie, you got anything coming out on your channel?
No, I'm planning on actually starting doing recording sessions of Ghost of Tsushima, to make a review on that. But like, I still need to decide how I want to continue doing reviews, and I also need to write a script first, so I know that I can actually write reviews again. Because, bless you, because I've written a full script for a Ghost of Tsushima review before, but I trashed it because it was just so boring. So
Okay.
I think I wrote it like on the week of release because I played through the game in 2 days. So legitimately, I went back and checked. I got the platinum trophy 2 days and 2 hours after release. That's that speed run.
Yeah. And the side content in Ghost very much gives you the actual, like, encouragement to get it done.
Yeah. And not only that, but to actually get the platinum trophy and for the game to register that you collected everything, you don't actually need to collect everything of the just small, like the feathers basically that the game has. You just need to collect 20 of each.
That's not terrible. How many feathers are there?
I think like there's 80. It's not feathers. It's different records. There's samurai records and there's Mongol records, and there's, I think, 50 samurai records and 80 Mongol records overall. But you only need to collect 20 of each for them to pop the platinum achievement.
I'm
That's
probably
not
already
terrible.
there for Samurai Records.
There's a chance.
Which I do want to mention that as one of the neater parts, I think, of the collectible system in Ghost of Tsushima, is that a lot of them are like actual Mongol artifacts that it explains, like, yo, the Mongols like to do this. It's like a special kind of cheese.
Yeah, and when it's just paper, there's actually there's actual world building in that, and it's not just paper because sometimes you get artifacts, like you said. And the thing is, I'm not sure if you've noticed, if you go into the database in the game, there are items that don't show up, that don't pop up in the game, but they have like special models still, even though the models never appear in game. So if like Jin, there's a part where Jin picks up a map, and the map is never shown. You just get the markers put on your map, on your minimap, or on your minimap that doesn't exist. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The marker just shows up and the wind follows it. But if you actually go into your inventory and try to look at the map, there actually is a map. Like there actually is a drawn out map of that area with the markers on it.
Ha!
And I didn't understand that because that's just like that's such a minute detail, and it's such a nice thing that they put in and put the effort into, but it's there.
Yeah, there's a load of attention to detail in Ghost of Tsushima. It's kind of crazy. The graphics alone, of course, have an absurd attention to detail.
Yeah, you hate particle effects, but this game does those particle effects right.
Yeah, because the particle effects never get in the way of the actual gameplay, is the thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that always bugged me about particle effects, is when you got, shit zillion lasers coming out of a dude and he's just swinging his sword and you can't tell what the fuck's going on. The game's definitely got a lot to praise, but I guess we can talk about that more when we get to what I did this week.
Yeah.
Alright. Is that all you're gonna be working on for your channel?
Yeah. I don't know when I'll actually start doing those recorded sessions, but I plan on doing it sometime.
Yeah. Alright, on my channel, I expect more of the usual stuff. I'll probably get some recording done with Mike and or soon. At some point this week. It's difficult to say because we haven't got anything planned for today. Probably also expect more Warhammer 2 content because for some reason people actually watch that, which is surprising to me because it's like super low quality content too. So
you don't need to be high quality if you find your niche. Like my most watched video is still my Sengoku Basara 1 review because people remember Devil Kings. People there's a niche for Sengoku Basara. There is not a reviewer that talks about Sengoku Basara, so I'm just the guy. Like that's the thing that I never understood how it happened, but it did happen. I actually looked up the official YouTube like Sengoku Basara 1 topic, which just takes every video uploaded about Sengoku Basara and puts them in a playlist basically. And my video is the first video in that. I don't know how I did the algorithm, but when I checked, my video was the first video in that topic. It was the thing that more people were most likely to click on if they looked it up, and that was weird.
Yeah, I guess there ain't a whole lot of competition surrounding Sengoku Basara.
Yeah, turns out you just need to like make a whole big fuss about a series that's basically dead and has been for the past 5 years. Well, outside of Japan, anyway. I guess technically the brand isn't dead because there are still the stage plays and the small bits and bobs that you can buy in the Capcom Cafe in Japan, but like there hasn't been a game in like 5 years, and there's seemingly not really a plan to make Persona 5 anytime soon.
Devil May Cry 5 took 10 years, dude. Like, Capcom clearly pumps the majority of their money into Street Fighter, Resident Evil, and... well, mostly Resident Evil. I guess Monster Hunter now is probably in Capcom's big three. With the other franchises, you gotta kind of accept that, like, yeah, you get a sequel once every 5 to 10 years. And just kind of take it, you know?
Yeah. The only reason this is weird to me, though, is that Sengoku Basara used to be a yearly series.
Oh, man. Hang on. What was the time length between Mega Man 10 and Mega Man 11?
Yes. Mighty number 9.
Yes.
It was Mighty number 9.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Didn't they start working on and announced Mega Man 11 because Mighty Number 9 got funded and they were like, no, Inafune, go home.
Yeah, I think that that Mighty Number 9 being a absolute fuck up helped too. Yeah. That was definitely a mess. Y'all remember the explosion pizza?
Yes, I also remember crying like an anime fan on prom night.
Yeah. That was okay. That was a really funny line. It got used on the wrong audience, but I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, the thing I found even funnier than the actual line though was that Inafune didn't see the line before the trailer got released. Saw the trailer and was like, "Yo, what?"
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things where they hired the wrong marketing guy.
Yeah. And then he disowned the freaking trailer on the spot, like it's Terry slapping Mai's ass.
For fuck's sakes. Alright. So, yeah, probably expect more Warhammer content. And by Warhammer content, I mean low-quality videos of me, like, talking about shit and pretty well just mindlessly speculating while the AI kicks its own ass. So, on the group channel this week, we have got, let me go to this point in the schedule.
I wonder, will we have Sengoku Basara for Sumeragi?
On the 11th, on Monday, Street Fighter V Part 6. On Friday, Sengoku Basara 4 Part 17. And on Saturday, we try and fail to draw Akuma.
Oh boy.
Alright. So, Pink, what have you been up to for this past week, man?
All right, updates from last week. I've gone through and finished the latest season of Cobra Kai.
I've been hearing lots of high praise for this, actually.
It's a very good show. You should watch it.
No.
But why not?
Because I don't care about Karate Kid.
I can't believe you.
I mean, I believe me all the time. Why doesn't anyone else?
Is it bad? Is it bad? Is it a bad thing to say that I actually liked Beth Morita better in freaking Britannica's Tales from around the world?
What?
I think it was after. I'm actually not sure if it was before or after Karate Kid, but freaking Mr. Miyagi hosted a children's show where he did a whole Jonathan Frakes bit, and then they showed an animation of a folktale.
Okay. Huh.
He was so entertaining that they cut him out because they couldn't pay him for freaking likeness rights.
The actual likeness rights?
Yeah.
Paying to have him come in and film, but they can't actually pay for his likeness. That's kind of that's stupid.
Yeah, he did. I don't know how that happened because they did that whole thing. They released the series with him in it, and then like literally a year after, they released the series again, but he was cut out because they couldn't pay him again.
Oh my god. That is low budget. Would that not be something they check out first? Like,
I don't know.
what are your fucking... Oh my god. Alright, someone carry on.
Alright, Pink Cobra Kai. Oh no, Pink's dead.
Okay, Addy, what have you done this past week, man?
He got removed from the podcast because we couldn't pay his likeness rights.
We don't even have his likeness! It's just his voice!
Close enough.
My voice?
Yeah. Alright, Pink Cobra Kai.
I better be getting royalties for lending my voice. I hope you know that. So Cobra Kai season 3, very good. As I was saying last week, it felt like it was all sort of building into the next season instead of focusing on one central point for its own season, and that prediction was more or less on point. So not that anyone would start a show in the middle of this number of seasons or whatever, but yeah, if you're gonna start Cobra Kai, definitely start at the beginning, not the middle. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I don't think I had any complaints. I mentioned last week that it seemed like a lot of characters from season 1 that didn't return in season 2 did come back for season 3, and that continued on throughout the entire season. So that was fun, nifty.
So I assume we got like kind of an all the warriors moment. Everybody's here.
Not really, because they're not important characters. They were just all side characters from the first season, so it's kind of weird to see them back because they don't serve any relevance. But they came back for just a scene or two. There's genuinely in season 1, the first couple episodes, there's a recurring homeless lady. She does not make a return in season 2, but she does get about 2 minutes of screen time in the third season. Just almost feels like cameos at this point, but yeah. So very, very interesting stuff going on there.
All right.
Yeah. Not a lot more I can say about it. It's very good. I don't want to spoil it for you because you need to go watch it. Alex, gosh darn it.
No.
And
dude,
no.
I'm a busy fucking guy.
I believe it. I
mean, not really like in terms of having actual things I need to do, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm expected to go through. I just got asked the other day how much progress I've been making on the Lord of the Rings books because those were bought as a present for me, and I had to be like, yeah, none.
Good luck getting through those things. Those are freaking huge.
Did you remake the Lord of the Rings yet? All of it. Did you shoot the next trilogy of movies?
Yeah, but half the cast has to be played by the fucking pets. Dogs and cats.
Gandalf the Grey Coat. Let's see. Outside of Cobra Kai, in another continuation of last week, 2K17 got that in. Got to replay it. I had a panic attack at first because I had quote unquote deleted all the data from my Xbox to make room for other stuff. So when I went to reinstall that, none of the DLC got reinstalled.
Oh.
And it wouldn't give me the option to, when I enter into the what is that menu called? It's the add-ons menu or whatever, which is supposed to house all the DLC that you've had for that game. So I was able to download the Goldberg and NXT stars and whatnot, just those two. But everything else that wasn't pre-order bonuses was not able to be located, like, at all, in any way, shape, or form. And I can't start the game without that DLC, because otherwise I have to overwrite the save, which will delete all my save data in the game. So that was a little worrisome. I eventually figured it out. I just went to the Microsoft website, went through all my prior purchases, and was able to tell it to reinstall my DLC from that to my Xbox. And that worked. What a relief. I was able to start up my game without having to erase all the data in it. And you know what's wild is the Future Stars pack from 2K17.
Oh no. I can smell where this is going.
Oh man. It's wild because I noticed a trend well before any of this happened where basically anytime 2K releases a Future Stars pack, half of those wrestlers featured in that pack will be future endeavored within the year.
Yeah.
And 2K17, you want to know what luminaries it features in their Future Stars pack? It's got Austin Aries.
Yeah.
He would jump ship 3 months after the game's release.
Future Stars.
It's got Ty Dillinger.
Oh my
earlier
god.
this year. Gallows and Anderson, the Bullet Club, they're gone.
I didn't know they were gone. Fuck.
Yeah, they were part of the mass release at the start of the year because of COVID.
Oh, I see.
Unfortunate times for everybody all around. But you want to know who is in the Future Stars pack and who is still kicking around the company?
Ooh.
Mojo freaking Raleigh, who was only hired because he was what was his face? He was a friend, or he is a friend of the former Patriot, Rob Gronkowski. And the Patriots are Triple H's and Stephanie McMahon's favorite team. So, gee, I wonder why Mojo's still employed.
And wasn't Mojo able to get Rob Gronkowski to come on, like Raw a couple times? Of course.
Yep. And they had Rob Gronkowski host WrestleMania, the previous one that was shut down because of COVID. Well, interesting how life works out.
Look, Pink, they had to fire Gallows Anderson, but not Raleigh, because Raleigh doesn't have a hot Asian wife to cry on her shoulder.
Raleigh's got nothing. He's got no talent, no microphone skills. He barely has a decent look. He's got like no muscle definition whatsoever. But hey, he's friends with a former Patriot. We gotta keep him around and keep him happy so we can keep the Patriots happy. Yes. Mojo friggin' Raleigh.
The fact that the Future Stars pack starts off with Austin Aries. And I don't think it's a controversial opinion to say that Austin Aries' prime had already passed by that time.
Right? Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where, like,
he was a Future Star pack of 2K16, along with Fernando and Diego. Remember those guys?
Hang on. That's not Primo and Epico, is it?
That is Primo and Epico.
I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised Primo and Epico stuck around for so long. Because, boy.
Epico's gone, isn't he? Didn't they get rid of Epico?
Yeah, both of them are gone now.
Oh, okay. Primo stuck around for a fucking long time.
He was there forever. Totally underrated. Should have used it more. I love Primo and Carlito. Epico's just alright.
The memory I most associate with Primo was when I first got into wrestling and I hadn't watched any of the stuff on TV yet. My only experience with wrestling was playing WWE All-Stars.
Right.
And SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 was the first one from the main series that I actually tried out. And Primo was who on the immediately unlocked roster of 2011 I didn't recognize and didn't have an interesting design. So I was just like, fuck this guy, and I just jobbed him out on every show.
You see, I did a similar...
That's what the company did as well, so you weren't wrong.
Primo was fucked from the beginning because he just looked like a man-child.
Yeah, okay. I did a similar thing when I got into the WWE games as well, because my first game was 2008, the best one. And
still better than 09.
I didn't know most of the roster, but I knew some people. So and you know that didn't have universe mode, so you just made up your headcanon and then
it had GM mode, which
that was shit. I don't care. I mean, specifically, 08 GM mode was definitely shit. The other ones, arguable. That one, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just had this freaking thing where every week, every single week, there would be a backstage brawl, freaking blood grunge match between Ric Flair and Carlito.
Ha!
And every week, Carlito would die.
Oh my god!
And I don't know why.
I can't believe Carlito is fucking dead.
For the third time this month.
Oh
I
shit.
mean, oh wait, had objectively the worst GM mode, but it might be my favorite just because it was so broken and you could abuse the crap out of it. It's like just turn injuries and fatigue off, and I don't remember if you could turn money off or not. Well, once you turned injuries and fatigue off, you just with the 24/7 mode, you just had a diva star in a movie like every day, and then you'd make some serious bank, and then the diva's popularity would go through the roof, and so you could utilize the women without suffering any negative ratings penalties because their popularity was so high. It kind of works in and against you though, because once their popularity gets so high, and there's nothing you can do with them because they can't challenge for any belts unless they're on Raw, they're gonna start asking for contract renegotiations or title matches, and you can renegotiate the contracts, but you can't give them title matches. So eventually, they're just gonna jump ship and be miserable somewhere else.
I like the
It's wild.
I like the idea of them asking for getting them a shit ton of movie deals, and then they're like, "Yo, can you also give the title, or else I jump to another company?" And it's like, okay, I know this is a WWE game, and the WWE games need to act like the championships are everything. But, like, come on, let's not pretend that fucking WWE isn't relatively a farce compared to Hollywood.
The Rock left for Hollywood. That tells you all about it.
John Cena
And
would have
then-
left for Hollywood if he actually had decent acting skills.
He's trying to right now.
Admittedly,
this
he had
very
his
moment.
run.
As we speak, John Cena is trying to break into Hollywood as we speak.
Yes.
Cena
He's-
would have left
he's-
a lot earlier if he had decent acting skills.
Yes.
And then the Rock, because he wasn't given a title shot, The Rock left for Hollywood and then RoH. Of
Yeah.
course. No, even better. House of Hardcore. Is that company still alive?
Probably. It's like if you have to ask if Tommy Dreamer's still alive, the company's probably still alive. Because as far as I'm aware, he's not dead yet.
Yeah.
I don't think Dreamer is dead yet.
Okay. So what have you been doing in the actual day-to-day 2K16 though, Pink?
I've been re-going through all the universe modes and whatnot, trying to see who did what better, what could be changed, etc. 2K16 is actually the last game to feature the vertical menu style and the ability to play matches in any order, or at least to my knowledge. I believe that changed with 2K17, where the universe menu layouts obtained a more horizontal design, where the match card goes from left to right.
Yeah, I always thought that design had way less character to it, you know?
Yeah, I much preferred the vertical design of the previous universe modes. I didn't think that. I thought it was far more aesthetically pleasing, and the menu navigation as well just felt like it made a lot more sense to me. Because in 2K17, you've still got a vertical menu in the main menu, but then when you enter the match screen, it's all horizontal, and it's kind of a mishmash of we're doing vertical, but we're also horizontal, and now we're going diagonal, and yeah, whatever. So
Yeah.
I much prefer the designs of previous SmackDown vs. Raw or 2K games. I thought it was far better. I do think having you play the matches in order of the way they are booked is the better decision.
Yeah.
And
Though admittedly, sometimes it is
2K
fun. Sometimes it can be good when you've got matches on the card that you have to play because you can't, like, they have to go a certain way, but at the same time they're not going to be fun matches, so you get the fun matches out of the way first, and then
Yeah.
you play Undertaker versus Big Show.
Yeah. So I believe with 2K18 that's when they gave you the ability to you can simulate this match and you can actually choose who the victor is. So
Yeah.
that was a massive improvement by introducing the horizontal play through all the matches in chronological booking order. That made things a lot easier because if you don't want to play like Primo versus Epico in the first match of the show, you can just simulate that, move on to the matches you do like, and if you really want to push or bury someone, you can choose, hey, you're losing tonight, or hey, you're going over tonight. Well done.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back.
But then how will Dolph Ziggler challenge the Big Show for the heavyweight title for the third time this month? Don't freaking
That is an
SmackDown.
excellent question. That is an excellent question. I believe 2K17 is the first installment to give you the option of disabling a superstar from going after a certain belt. So if you don't want Shawn Michaels to chase after the Intercontinental Championship while he is also chasing after the World Heavyweight title, you can go into the options and whatnot for the individual superstar and disable or enable which championships they're gunning for.
Yeah, but with WWE 2K's long loading times, that is a fuckload of work.
That is, and and over time, I believe with 2K19, they completely removed that, but did give you the option. Well, this is actually taking something that was okay in theory and actually improving upon it, which is wild for 2K, where they don't have you individually swapping out or enabling, disabling things within the superstar menu. They actually have the championship. What do they call it? We'll just call it the championship menu for now. Where in universe mode, you click on the championship menu, it'll bring up all your champions, and if you click on those, it'll give you the rankings. You can actually enable or disable whether a superstar is competing for those titles in that menu. So there is no loading times with that. You're not going through the entire roster going, oh, I'll disable all the main eventers from the IC title. I'll disable all the mid carders from the world title. I'll disable tag teams from going after singles titles. Now it's all okay. Here's my division. Here are the rankings. I don't see Dolph Ziggler in my world heavyweight title picture. Let's click. What is it? What is that button? How do they? I need
Hamburger button.
photo reference.
Yeah.
I've lost my train of thought. So in that championship menu, you can enable and disable superstars from competing for titles. They overhauled that completely. So it's basically the inverse of 2K17 lets you disable superstars from going after championships. 2K18, you could disable championships from being contended by superstars.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is much better. So that is something that did change for the better over time.
Oh man, it just got so hard for me to bother to play those games though. When I don't know if it was a thing that occurred over time or just something that I noticed like as I put more and more time into those games. But by the time I was like playing 2K19 quite a bit, like it was just really awkward for me to play actual matches because they just all felt the same.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Most matches do play out very much the same. There's not a lot of variety you can do with them. So I don't know that there's anything they can do about that though. I think they're kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place with that. Because they've got decent ideas. The payback system they introduced, which more or less enabled you to be able to play as a heel for the most part.
Yeah.
Because they added in that little possum attack or possum pin, which got taken out several years ago, and now it's back as a brand new feature. Oh my god.
In
Can't
the
believe they did
2K
that.
tradition.
Yeah. So it was, they're little steps in the right direction. There's still not any good way they've implemented being able to play as a babyface or a heel, and there's no good way they can really accomplish enabling someone to feel like they're playing as Miz or as Mark Henry at this point with what they've done. Hopefully that changes in the future. They made some good small baby steps, like the weight system that got taken out previously and now is back in, where superstars of a lower strength stat cannot lift superstars who are much heavier than them.
Yeah, and that
So
way when you're
if
playing
they
as
can,
and that way when you're playing as the Miz against Mark Henry, suddenly every Miz move is a Russian leg sweep for some reason.
right, if they can take that kind of system and build on it where it's not actively restricting the player's move set, but is actually enabling it to feel like a genuinely competitive match, that would be a step in the right direction. I just don't think they have the tools to do it, which is unfortunate.
I mean, we obviously already know the answer. We just don't like it. Because remember, in Day of Reckoning, I think it was, weight detection existed. And you could suplex the Big Show as Ricky Rey Mysterio, but you just needed to mesh a shit ton.
That is true.
Just
I love Day of Reckoning, but yeah, that system is a little bit dated nowadays, I would think.
Then also you brought up not being able to really differentiate between playing face or heel, and we already have the answer for that as well. The dirty meter. Oh, that
What
thing
is the dirty
sucked.
meter? I don't remember that.
If you are playing as a heel wrestler, then they had a dirty meter that you had to build up to do illegal shit, like pushing the referee and removing the turnbuckle.
Oh, was that 08?
Well, no, I think it was 07 or 06, I forget.
It wasn't 06. I would remember if it were 06. I don't think any such feature existed in 06. So it's probably 07 or 08. Maybe
think
even
it was
09.
Yeah, maybe 09 or I think it was 07 because by 08 doing that shit I think was a class ability because that 08 was an RPG.
Yeah.
Right, so it must have been 2007.
08 had where you could like pick a main class and then a subclass, and like
Yeah.
Ric Flair's main class was dirty, so his big super move was punching them in the balls.
Right.
And then they kept that as his finisher in like 2009 for some reason. Like
I mean, in fairness, Flair in 2008, I don't think he ever finished a match with the figure 4. I could be wrong, but
What if they add Flair to
I
2020?
barely even remember Flair's career post Evolution.
I mean, that was
What if
also,
they-
I think in 2009, they also made it like obligatory that every wrestler in the game had to have 2 finishers, regardless of whether or not they actually used 2 finishers in real matches.
No, that was in 08 as well, I think.
Yeah, but it still led to some dumb bullshit, because I don't think John Cena was using the STF yet. So John Cena's second finisher was like a fucking diving 5-knuckle shuffle.
Oh, but what if in 2K21 they bring back Flair and his finish is blading?
That knocks his opponent out somehow?
Yeah.
Is Ric Flair a fucking voodoo doll?
He cuts his forehead and his forehead does the rest missed.
Ric Flair's blood is poisonous. Because he's got so many STDs.
I mean, he's an old one. He's an ancient being, so we don't know what's in his blood.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Alright, anything else this week soon? Pink.
Pink, yeah. Path of Radiance. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I actually got to play that because I actually got a memory card now. So far, actually not as good as I was hoping it would be, which is very disappointing. Because I've heard very great things about the Ike series of Fire Emblem games. This one, I would put it below both Fire Emblem 7, which is the original US released Fire Emblem, and below Three Houses. I do put it above Shadow Dragon, which is a remake of the first one.
All right.
So I've got a lot of issues with this one because there is a subsystem, if you can call it that exists called biorhythm. And what that means is at the start of every map, your units have, think of it, picture a sound wave in your head. So there's a little dot, and it'll be at the top of the sound wave or the bottom of the sound wave, or maybe in the middle. I've never experienced one in the middle yet. But if it's at the top of that sound wave, it means the unit's biorhythm is at quote unquote full, or whatever you want to call it. And that means he'll get a +10 to attack, defense, avoid, etc. Basically just a boost to his stats overall. Now,
Yeah.
if it's at the bottom of that sound wave, it means he's suffering negative penalties to all his stats. And this is completely random. There is nothing you can do to determine what the biorhythm is. There is nothing you can do to prevent any negative or positive effects from this. It's just completely random. It's like, okay. I don't understand why this is here, or why somebody thought this was a good idea. And here's the thing, the video I watched to get a better explanation of it, they were saying that the biorhythm changes every turn. Now, this was in Radiant Dawn that they were playing. I'm playing Path of Radiance. And so far in Path of Radiance, I've been checking my units every turn, and the biorhythm has not changed once. So I'm assuming that in Path of Radiance, the biorhythm is set from the beginning and will stay the same until the end, and that in Radiant Dawn, that's when it changes every turn.
Okay.
So that means if your units have a bad biorhythm, that means they're suffering negative penalties throughout the entire level. So enjoy that. And I don't understand why this is a thing. It's completely random, and I don't like it.
Because RNG is
And-
fun, Pink. Are you having fun
Yeah.
yet?
No, I'm not. And the thing is, in Radiant Dawn, when you hover over your unit, it gives you a arrow that points up or down, and it'll be green or red, which will kind of signify, oh, his biorhythm is really good right now, or oh no, his biorhythm is really bad. You should hide him somewhere so he doesn't die like an idiot. This does not exist in Path of Radiance, which is another thing that leads me to assume that the biorhythm is set from the beginning and won't change until the next map. So, if it does change per turn, if that's something that will happen over time, because I'm still in the very early game, well, it would really suck to learn that, yeah, the biorhythm will change every turn, and I have to click a button to observe my unit to actually check on his biorhythm to make sure, oh, he's good to go this round, or oh, wait, he's suffering a -10 to attack and avoid. I should hide him somewhere. It's not good. And a long-standing feature in the Fire Emblem games is
Permadeath.
if you press a button. What's that?
I said permadeath.
Permadeath. Yeah, permadeath is stupid and it needs to go. And it has gone, for the most part. And the world is better for it. But a long-standing feature in the Fire Emblem games is if you press a button, it'll give you a view of basically all the spaces that can be traversed by the enemy. So Path of Radiance does not have this. If you want to see the spaces where the enemy can move, you have to highlight every enemy, and you have to
Oh.
do this manually. This is the only Fire Emblem game I've played that does not have the option does not have the option to press a button to give me a view of all the potential spaces my opponent could be moving to. Some could say that, oh, they're just trying to increase the difficulty by not letting you see the potential spaces or movements your opponent can make. But that would not be a valid argument because I can see the moves that my opponent could possibly conceivably make. I just have to highlight them. And I have to do it every single turn because highlighting an enemy will only highlight them for that turn. Once you end turn and the opponent has gone and it's back to your turn, the red area of effect that tells you where the potential spaces the opponent can move will be at, they are gone. I have to highlight all the enemies over again. It's not good.
It's a lack
I
of a
don't
quality of life feature, yeah.
Yes. I have no idea why this was taken out because this was made after Fire Emblem 7 and probably after another Japanese Fire Emblem game. And to remove that feature is just the absolute dumbest thing you could possibly do. I need to go and check and see if it has indeed been removed or if I'm just being stupid and not pressing a button on my controller properly. Granted, I've hit every button at this point, but maybe I have to hit a combination of buttons. It is definitely something I need to look into.
Did
And
you
I'm
press
going to
Windows
look
key on your
into
controller?
yeah. And I'm going to look into if this was actually removed and if it was also removed in Radiant Dawn. And if that is the case, when it was brought back. Because I know it exists in Awakening. I know it exists in Fire Emblem 7. And in between those two are the Ike series of Fire Emblem games. So is this just a feature that was taken out specifically in those games and later brought back? Or is it something I'm just too stupid to comprehend? I don't know. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it and I'm gonna figure out why this was done.
It's an
Believe
RP
you me.
feature. It's an RP feature. Ike's life was really hard, so they will make it work hard as well.
Ike's life was really hard. Yes, indeed. And last major complaint, which is not really a gameplay feature complaint or anything, nothing to do with gameplay at all, but the graphics. This is, I want to say, the first 3D Fire Emblem game, and it's not pretty. The 2D sprites of Fire Emblem 7 have so much charm to them. I could watch those sprites all day long and never get bored. Fire Emblem's Path of Radiance, it's just kind of ugly. The maps don't look good in 3D because it's all from kind of a top-down view, the board is. So when you have a very large 3D environment that you are also scaling down to a kind of chessboard, it's not great because the environment clashes too much with the actual board, and not in a way as, oh, I can tell what's board and what's not. It's in a way that, oh, I can't tell what's board and what isn't. How far to the left can I go before I reach the end of the map? How far north can I go? Oh, wait, I can't go north at all. I'm already at the top. And it's not pretty because there's a lot of empty space in the maps as well. And bushes, or no, not bushes, they're called thickets. There are thickets and trees. But the 3D environment does not render them well enough that you can immediately tell what is a thicket and what is a tree. So there are plenty of times where I'll be like, hey, I'm going to move this unit over into this thicket and get a +10 to avoid in defense. So on the next turn, when somebody tries to attack me, I'll be better prepared. And then I'll go to move them, and I'm like, oh wait, I can't move this unit here because that's an actual tree. I So yeah, a lot of problems with the graphics. The combat animations are not great, and the problem is that the animations they're using, they're actually taken straight. Well, not taken straight, but they're uh animated in a way that is very reminiscent to the previous Game Boy Fire Emblem game. And the 2D sprites can pull off the animations very well because they've got a lot of over the top stuff.
Yeah.
But the 3D animations, it's like if they try to do it over the top, it just doesn't look right. If they're doing it more naturally, it just doesn't look pleasant. It's like there are a lot of animations that kind of try to toe the line between over the top and being semi quote unquote realistic, and it doesn't work. And then the actual over the top animations, they look fine enough, but they're not as animated as these sprites are, so they don't look as good. So graphically, it's a major step down from the previous sprite era, but it would become much better because Three Houses, those have very over the top animations as well, and those are rendered in a 3D environment, and it all looks spectacular. It's very fun to watch. I don't think I turned the animations off ever in that game, which would be the only Fire Emblem game that I've not done that with, because it's very enjoyable to watch. I mean, it will definitely suck up a lot of time in your day, but it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Path of Radiance, not enjoyable to watch. I turned off the combat animations almost immediately. And they probably won't be going back on. And I'll definitely I'll go find a GIF comparison of I'll show you a sprite animation from Fire Emblem 7, and then I'll show you a Fire Emblem animation from Radiant Dawn, or Path of Radiance rather.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to tell, yeah, that's not so great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably one of my least favorite Fire Emblem games that I played thus far. Just from those quality of life features that are missing, it's still a good game. Like I said last week, it's hard to do a bad Fire Emblem game. I'm sure this one will grow on me over time, especially if I can find those buttons that will activate those quality of life features that are so desperately needed. But if those don't exist, it'll still be a good game, regardless. So,
Okay.
definitely intend to keep up over the weeks, over the months, however long it will take me to finish that one. Probably not very long, or I hope not very long. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long it is. Well, yeah, my first initial foray into Path of Radiance. Not a great one, but still a good one.
Yeah. Eddie. Or, well, I guess Pink might not be done yet. Never mind.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Eddie!
As far as I'm aware, I'm done.
All right. So I spent more time in Darkest Dungeon
Okay.
because that's the only game I'm allowed to play right now. I'm in the doghouse, funnily enough. Ha, puns. Anyway. So I spent more time in Darkest Dungeon, got a couple of bosses down. I think I've got most of I don't remember because the actual list did show me. I think I'm like halfway done with the starting area, killing everyone there. I also
okay. Yeah. Is that like the first dungeon or the first set of dungeons?
The first set of dungeons, the ruins area, the whole team area.
Okay.
I accidentally killed the dimensional shambler. That was weird.
Oh. Whoops.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a thing to pull off on accident, but okay.
Well, it wasn't the dimensional shambler. It was a dimensional shambler, but still. The game made sure to point this out to me that it was a dimensional shambler.
And now you gotta watch out because its wife is coming for you.
Yeah. That was probably the hardest boss fight so far. I mean, obviously it was a secret boss, but I mean, so yeah.
No, go ahead.
Some of the other ones do give it a run for its money, but that's just because it's things like, oh well, I didn't look up what their weaknesses were, and turns out they can't bleed, and all of my team is focused on bleeding people out. So hey, guess we're
Whoops.
doing freaking yeah, guess we're doing physical attacks.
Yeah.
But even then, somehow I still pull it out most of the time. I've only had 3 people die on me, and it's been like 30 weeks. So
That's pretty good for Darkest Dungeon. I didn't do that well in 1.5 dungeons.
I'm trying to remember if there was any particular highlight that I would want to point out aside from like I fought. Oh, I forget his name. There's a guy that's locked up in the ruins area, I think, where his boss fight is that he just gives your characters stress and also throws rocks on them from the ceiling. Otherwise, the boss fight is just railing away at him, and also he has like 3 planks of wood before him that you need to kill before you can actually hit him if you don't have ranged characters. And that was funny because I went in with the lead team, which consists of a grave robber, a jester, a houndmaster, I think their class is called, and also Dismas. I think that's his name, the highwayman. Dismas is somehow still alive from the start of the game. But yeah, actually, he's the only one who's nearly died from rocks. He only got hit. He only got hit once, but he was at death's door, and then the guy died on the same turn. He had too much bleed damage. Well, too much bleed and blight. Which, yes, I can understand why that would kill him. But yeah, that's a fun game that I can spend a couple of hours in before I freaking shut down for some reason.
All right.
Other than that, as I've said, I spent most of the week sleeping for some reason. But I did spend all of like freaking Wednesday or something drawing, cause voice crack, nice. But yeah, I spent most of Wednesday drawing because I figured out how to enable pressure sensitivity on GIMP.
Ooh, all right.
So of course, the first thing I had to do was redraw all of the freaking all of my new avatar and shit, because why not?
Yeah.
I did remove some teeth because I felt it was too teethy, and I made it cuter. I also, because the whole body, the full body drawing of my Sona was made before I actually drew this avatar thing. So I went back and redrew that as well, because of course I did. But now here's the thing that I'm actually here's the thing I'm most proud of, which is actually the first thing I drew was so we used to have, well, we still have those. I just freaking forget to put them in the videos sometimes, but we have those small like title logos, so we know who's recording what when we switch between or shit.
Yeah.
And ever since Pink made his, I've been jealous of his because it felt like such a good representation of him, and mine was just, text. So I was like, I'll see if I can do something similar, but because I freaking fell out with making just text-based shit, and I don't know how to do it right anymore. What is it with the voice cracks? But yeah, so because I just don't know how to do text-based shit anymore. I was like, well, I'll see if I can do something that ties things together and all that. And this is the one time I will. Well, this is the first time I will talk like this. Probably the last time as well. But look at this cute little shit. Look at how good this turned out. I love him.
Yeah.
It's great.
Obviously, it needs a bit of freaking fine tuning, like everything else I draw. But like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the only part that needs any work is the pants, honestly.
Yeah, that's the part I was talking about.
All right.
But that. Let's see. Did I do anything else? Well, I actually did. So as a way of freaking trying to rehabilitate me, I guess I don't know what the. I just caught myself real hard on trying not to curse, and I don't know why. Because as I've said it like a couple of podcasts before recording the podcast, I've been getting real casual about cussing more, and I don't know why. I don't really like it, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what to call it, but basically, in the upcoming time, my family will probably force me outside, so I can be not inside, really. And so I was taken to go shopping, which is a pastime that I don't really like, but hey, it's something to do outside. And let me tell you, freaking being forced into a big like well it was, I think, it was a brand shop or whatever you want to call it. It wasn't like Hot Topic is what I'm trying to say. It was a proper like one brand only shop.
Yeah.
And being forced into one of those and my sister just going, "Hey, look at literally every shoe that they have on sale and choose one. We're not leaving until we buy you a shoe." Was an experience, especially since the only reason I was able to choose a shoe was because I was like, okay, so which one of these will go with my fursuit? Because that's in the process of being made. I mean, it's in the process of getting the resources for it, but still.
Yeah.
Life has become weird.
And it only gets weirder from here.
Yeah. But that's actually another thing that I wanted to talk about, because I talk about like how depression made me sleep this whole week and all that shit. I haven't been really feeling sad though. Then again, I do need to revisit freaking definitions of emotions because I don't understand most of them, even the ones I talk about.
My limited understanding of depression is that it's not actually really sadness.
I mean, no, it's I've tried defining it, which is the best way I've been able to describe it to myself is just calling the feeling that I get when I'm down with it void, because it reminds me of the feeling that you get when you're trying to load up a web page or something and it says null void. Like, something's supposed to be there, but it's not. But it's supposed to be there. What is supposed to be there?
Yeah.
And yeah, so but yeah, so I'm in a weird feeling place where like I notice the usual signs of whenever I'm like depressed and shit. I'm not feeling sad or even that feeling that I describe as void, particularly, because like I'm sort of happy because I guess I'm starting to finally accept myself properly. But at the same time, I'm also not fully happy because I had I have found out that I have this sort of weird mental block where I'm not happy myself. I'm happy for the me that forced me to get into the change. I'm happy that he's happy, but I'm not happy, which is confusing. It's also confusing to feel as if it's trying to wrap your head around my description, I think.
I'm not sure there is such a thing as fully happy outside of movies, I guess. Outside of Disney movies.
Maybe not. I don't know. I need, like, once again, I need to actually like do research on freaking emotions now because, hey, I guess it's that time that I actually learn about what emotions are supposed to be because I only remember like 4. That I also need to freaking focus on somehow defragmenting my brain so that there is no more of this feeling happy for the me that forced me to change shit because that I don't think that's normal. But aside from all that, I also yesterday spent the whole day writing a whole ass song. just made a song in a day. Why not?
Hey, if it's fun.
I mean, yeah, but it's more the thing for me. It's more the thing of I've been working on 2 other songs from the one I finished a couple of months ago. After that, or actually, like as I was finishing that, I guess I also started working on 2 others because I had ideas, I suppose. Those are not finished. Those are nowhere near finished. And then yesterday I just sat down and I was like, I have a chorus and then a song,
Ha!
completely new song. And hey, the writing in that one is at least, well, okay, I won't say it's even okay, but the writing is at least at the level where I don't know, where it doesn't need like half of it rewritten like the first one, which is just still in process.
I'm sure it's better than whatever I would have done.
I don't know, but like obviously I'm more of a critic for me than I would probably be for someone else in my shoes. But at the same time, it feels that a lot of my writing, because it is mostly just me actually writing down the shit that comes to me off the cuff. A lot of my writing comes off to me as lazy.
Ah!
But hey, I have found out that I have a real talent for just freaking shitting out Japanese words that actually fit the theme.
Ha!
That's actually a funny thing. Okay. I guess I'll make this the closing thought because I haven't done anything else aside from that. But like, the first song I wrote, the title of that song is in Japanese because I had the idea for the chorus, which was rewritten to actually make the word mean more in the context, I guess. But like, yeah, the actual title of the song is in Japanese. Then I started working on the other 2, which are in English. Those are still being worked on. And then there's this one that I just made in a day. That's also in Japanese. So I guess I can only write songs that have titles in Japanese now. Or something.
All right. So
And that's all I've done.
all right. I haven't got too much to talk about. I pretty well spent this week. A lot of this week was just fucked up sleep schedule. As you can probably tell, I'm super out of it, which is why I've not been a very good back and forth conversationalist here. And as soon as this recording is done, I'm probably gonna go grab something to eat and then go back to sleep. Because I am like, I'm not gonna lie. For like most of that Fire Emblem talk, I was like drifting in and out of existence and like, oh,
Hurry up, Pink! I got somewhere to be. My bed.
I'm trying to like figure out like what you're talking about. I'm like Doctor Strange, fucking trying to find my way through the fucking various dimensions to get back to Earth. Like, oh boy. So the what I did this week was mostly just up late at night, like I guess just reading Warhammer lore as usual. That's typical for me, and I don't remember what I did that fucked up my sleep schedule in the first place. There was something I did that fucked up my sleep schedule in the first place. You know what? Honestly, one of the big things that fucked up my sleep schedule was probably buying Factorio. So I've mentioned buying Factorio before. It was one that I was a bit hesitant towards because the developers have outright stated they will never ever put the game on sale, and I do think that is a bit dickish. But I did end up buying the game because it does seem like it's really up my alley. Factorio it's a game about making a factory. It's a game about, like, yo, what if we took Minecraft and just made it where you didn't have to do any work after, like, the first, like, 30 minutes? And instead,
Oh.
the game becomes figuring out how to get the game to do the work for you. And you naturally
So-
start...
Intriguing.
Oh bloody hell! I'm forgetting the name of that mod pack. But there was this big Minecraft mod pack that did exactly that.
Yeah, Technic. And it's
Yeah,
multiplayer,
Technic.
and its multiplayer equivalent, Tekkit. If you guys had like better PCs, I would absolutely love to run Tekkit at some point. At least partially because that game, Tekkit, like expands into even crazier bullshit from there. Like whole schools of magic. Like separate, different, like varieties of magic, like just spell casting or like making shit out of flowers or something, you know.
Yeah.
That sounds wild.
But for Factorio, yeah, you start off and it's like, alright, congrats, you got fucking nothing. You can make your first drill and your first furnace out of coal and iron and stone and what have you. And you keep upgrading from there. And you can unlock all kinds of things like, you know, electricity, which is a lot better than coal because you don't have to manually go around and fucking fill the machines with coal to keep them running. Just, you know, tie them up to an electric wire and keep the electricity running. So that's an immediate upgrade. You can upgrade stuff from there. You get better equivalents of every machine. You get machines that can do the crafting by themselves. They just auto-craft bullshit. And you keep going, and eventually you design this big factory good. And I was like 4 or 5 hours in, and I had this big factory design. And I looked at it, and I was like, I have no clue what the fuck half these machines do now. You look at things that you made, and you're like, I'm not going to tear this down because it might be important, but fuck if I know what it does.
And then slowly, freaking HAL just starts making new stuff, and you just think you made it.
You can eventually get to the point where the factory expands itself, actually. So, after 16 hours, I've decided, okay, next time I play that game in the coming days, I am going to just start a new save file, because I've learned a lot how to make the factory more efficient, but by now, I can't be bothered to go back and update everything, because, like, holy shit, I don't know how much of this stuff is really important, you know?
Right.
So I'll probably just start a new save file there. Factorio is a really fun game. It can be frustrating to learn at first, though. It is a game where you have to do a lot of learning, and you have to do a lot of logicking, which means that it can tire out your brain really quickly. It took me a while to figure out, oh, I've got these science labs. There's a thing you need to do where you need to make machines. First, you need to make drills that drill up iron and copper, and then you need to make machines that will craft those into copper wires or electronic cards, and then make, you know, crane arms or conveyor belts. And for whatever reason, you can make crafting machines that craft those together into what it basically amounts to red science juice and green science juice. And and then you put those into a research lab, and the research lab will cook up new recipes, new inventions for you to make. And it took me a while to get the system really working, because I was putting the red science juice and the green science juice on the same conveyor belt, even though the red science juice production was a lot quicker than green science juice production, which meant the conveyor belt wound up getting clogged up with red science juice, because I had an excess of that, but I needed the green science juice to actually get any science production going. And it took me a while to figure out, oh, I should probably have separate conveyor belts for these. So, you learn. You live, you learn. As Alanis Morissette once said.
Yeah.
Alright. And the other thing I put a lot of time into this week was Ghost of Tsushima. It was the one that wound up grabbing me out of the games that I got for Christmas. I obviously have not put any time into Nioh 2 or Evil Within 2, as I'm saving them for later. Sekiro did not immediately grab me. God of War 4 is, of course, fantastic, but it didn't really grab me because I've already watched a playthrough of it. I will definitely get through all of these games at some point, but for now, Ghost of Tsushima is the one that is really stuck with me. And
oh boy, I heard a really bad spoiler about Nioh 2, actually. And like not a game ruining spoiler, but just a weird one that I don't know how they would pull off.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, because apparently, like I don't know how story relevant this is, because I got this spoiler without any story context other than this happens in the story, or rather this character shows up in the story, or on a side, which is to say that the actually William from the first game is evil apparently, or at least that's what I gathered.
Weird. I didn't even know it was related to the plot of the first Neo.
Me neither. But now I'm at least slightly interested, because that, I mean, could they actually pull it off, or was it like an Alex Mercer thing where it's just he's just evil because we need evil?
Yeah. Alex Mercer was always a piece of shit. I never got why people complain about him being a bad guy in Prototype 2. The only valid complaint
I never played Prototype, so I don't know.
Oh, Alex Mercer is an absolute piece of shit in Prototype 1. I mean, the fucker eats people constantly, like...
Yeah,
The
That
Prototype,
wasn't a giveaway.
Prototype is the kind of game that you would think that I would like, but it actually looks really boring to me.
Oh, I love Prototype 1. I think I would love Prototype 2, but for some reason it didn't run well on my computer. I haven't tried it on this computer, though. Anyways, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. I would say that Ghost of Tsushima probably competes with God of War 4 for the title of best looking game of the generation. I would say the environments in Ghost of Tsushima look better than the environments in God of War 4, but the people in God of War 4 look better than the people in Ghost of Tsushima, you know?
Yeah, I mean it helps that God of War doesn't have to render as many people, but yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of it, yeah. I think it also helps that Kratos doesn't have as many tires or ways he can change his appearance as Jin. So there's quite less work to go around there.
Did you notice that Jin has 3 hair models yet?
No, I haven't noticed he's got any hair models aside from the first.
Well, he has the same hairstyle, but he has the I don't know what to call it, the no helmet, I guess, look, where you just see his hair, and then there's two different variants of headbands, and the 2 different headbands have different hair models attached to them. One of them is higher than the other.
Weird, I never noticed that. I'll have to check for
I
it
did
now.
I did because I'm a freaking nerd.
Yeah. Don't
Anyway,
ask me
continue.
about the big trivia about Dead Rising 1 then, because oh boy, there's a submachine gun on top of I'm forgetting the name of the goddamn tree, but I remember the trees in the entrance plaza, and there's a submachine gun on top of it. Palm tree, yes, palm tree. There's a submachine gun on top of the palm tree in the entrance plaza.
Ah.
There are 3 locations in the game where Frank can dye his hair. No, 2. 2. Yeah, there's 2. The gun shop has hillbillies in it on any given day. The only thing that changes is whether or not the hillbillies are aggressive.
Whoa.
Katie needs dentures.
Katie needs dental juice.
Yes. That's why we brought her to Dental Flush Plaza.
Oh man, I was playing through Dead Rising 2 off the record with Mike. They took out the fucking gotta catch a goddamn train CJ moment.
Yeah, we discussed this.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't get much sleep.
Understandable.
Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, I have finally completed Act 1. And I just got Jin's dad's armor. And boy, that armor is haggard until you can get it upgraded.
Yeah, it's also based on Takadatsu.
Huh, okay. Oh yeah, I noticed the antlers, yeah. Which, of course, when you start the game, you don't get the antlers. You gotta upgrade it to get the antlers, but you know.
Yeah. There's a couple that reference people like that.
Yeah, I kind of figured they'd reference some historical armors there. I was confused when the game gave me a blow dart. Like, I wasn't expecting that to be a weapon. You know, I know that ninjas supposedly use them, but I was still not expecting it at all. You know,
Yeah.
it's just such a strange weapon type to be given in any video game. You know.
I don't know. After Assassin's Creed 4, I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
because to me, that I had that same moment with Assassin's Creed 4. Because why would that big swashbuckling pirate pants use blow darts? Then
You can
again,
get a
they,
blow
they
dart.
do give a they do give a reason in the story for that one mission. But I mean, after that,
You can get blow darts in Assassin's Creed 4?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's a story mission.
I didn't get that far in that game story.
Oh,
I honestly got until I think I got past like the first raid you do on an English fort, and then like when you actually run into pirates. That's where I stopped. The first time you actually go to a pirate town, that's where I stopped.
yeah. After that, Edward gets all of the living assassins captured, and then he has to free them using blow darts because if he's seen, then the assassins die.
Yeah, okay, I see. Which also explains why he can't just use pistols.
Yeah, but like after that, what's his reason for still using a blow dart though? Because it doesn't fit his character.
Just for gameplay possibilities, I guess.
Yeah.
And with I do want to ask something with Ghost of Tsushima, because I've noticed the rather extensive selection of ranged options. Are there like a shit ton of arrow types that are unlockable? Because I've so far only got 3. The regular, the heavy for the longbow, and the explosive for the longbow.
There's 4.
There's 4, okay, so I assume that there's another half bow ammo type that I haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you need to do more Ishikawa side missions to get the flaming arrows.
Yeah, I've not been touching Ishikawa's side missions. I've done 2 of Lady Masako's, but that's the extent of it for the main side characters.
Yeah, I
And
think Ishikawa unlocks the flaming arrows, and that's how you get those. There's also a shit ton of throwables. Well, I see a shit ton, but that's because like the UI is really nice in that it makes even though you don't actually have a large pool of weapons, it makes it feel like you have a large pool of weapons because you just go with shit like I wanna use throwables on the aiming thing, and it opens up and you get 4 options in there as well.
yeah, there's 4 options beneath the 4 options.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of technique. The skill tree looked rather small at first, and I am kind of worried because I'm getting very close to the end of the skill tree despite the fact that I just started Act 2. But I don't know if I've been powering through the content a lot faster than the game expects. Are there only 3 acts?
Yes, there are. Did you get like a deluxe edition?
No.
Okay.
I
The
got
game
I got the GameStop used box edition.
ah so the
Which
game has
sucks
calculated.
because Ghost of Tsushima actually has a pretty nice box, and now I'm just gonna have a GameStop PS4 used case on my bookshelf.
Aw. Sad days.
Anyway, proceed, Eddie.
The game has it calculated down to the exact like ones of experience, the 1 point of experience, and you will reach maximum level if you do all of the content.
Really, I gotta do all the content because I'm already at Hero of Tsushima.
Well, I think it's all of the missions. I forget. I forget exactly what everything gives you freaking legend, but yeah, like I had I bought the deluxe edition of the game, so I had started out with an additional skill point, so that makes it so I always have a skill point left, even though I
Oh,
have everything unlocked.
wow, that's
But
pointless.
yeah, I think they actually patched that out, so if you start New Game Plus or something like that, then it goes away
Ah,
because it's annoying. But
what a
yeah,
fucking stupid, pointless pre-order bonus.
I mean, I didn't get the deluxe edition for that. I got the deluxe edition because it gave me. What did it give me? Oh
I
yeah,
assume
the
an exclusive
Tsushima armor
mask.
set. No, it gave me a whole armor set, as well as a horse.
Oh, okay.
An entire horse?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
I actually remember why I got the deluxe edition, because it came with the freaking soundtrack.
Ha!
Oh man.
I mean, Tsushima has the similar thing like Assassin's Creed did, where most of the soundtrack is just like ambient music, but like it's good ambient music.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did I want to go ahead and say? Oh, that game is very much a game where I expected it to be about, leveling is the primary driver and getting better, but it's real. There is a lot of skill to it, which is a bit of a change from Assassin's Creed, honestly. And I was very pleasantly surprised by how, at the start of the game, I very much had to stay off the roads to avoid Mongol patrols, because holy fuck, the Mongol patrols at the very start of the game are fucking brutal. But by now, I'm pretty well used to them.
Oh, you won't be.
Oh.
The game does mix-ups on you as you continue through the game.
Okay.
Well, it depends. How much do you use the standoff feature?
If I don't think there's any way I can sneak around.
Okay, then there's a chance you won't notice. But there is this thing that the game does, where standoffs are a lot easier to do at the start of the game than sneaking around, because Jin is a samurai. And then as you progress through the game, and things happen, standoffs randomly, or at least seemingly randomly, get harder and harder, and the enemies start doing mix-ups, and that actually serves a narrative purpose.
I have noticed that whenever I get into a standoff with the Ronin, and like the Mongols are bad at standoffs and will just like do a couple shitty feints and then go for it, whereas I've noticed that the Ronin actually will like use their sound cues whenever they feint, and that's got me a couple times. But I'm getting used to it.
But even like they will learn.
Yeah. I did.
It's Mr. Freeze, but all of the minis are Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. I did crack up at one point where I ran into a patrol of Ronin, and I just didn't get off my horse to like duel them properly as samurai at all. I just fucking shot them all with my bow.
I mean, hey, it's an option.
Yeah. I just like to imagine Jin not even bothering. I got shit to do, guys. Get the fuck out of here.
My favorite thing with the Ronin has been, there's this mission where you accompany Masako to meet with a person, and that person is guarded by Ronin, 4 of them, I think. And it's supposed to be a thing where you tell them, and you slowly take out the Ronin as they stop to do shit on the side of the road. And if you have a good enough stealth build, then you can just walk up behind the guys, quickly freaking stab them in the neck, and then just go on to the next one. And that was a funny thing when the person was talking to the Ronin, who have been dead for the past 20 minutes, and just going through the fields.
Oh man, yeah. There was one time where I had to do a tailing mission with Moscow. We have to follow like a guy with a cartload of food he's taking to some bandits. I didn't realize it was a tailing mission at the time. So I just ran up to him, pulled out the longbow, shot him in the head so hard that he did a front flip. And then the game was like, game over, Hachi died. And I was like, oh, well.
I guess I wasn't supposed to kill him.
I'm not gonna lie,
not yet.
Every time I shoot someone in the head with the longbow in this game, I instinctively go, ooh, because the longbow is fucking brutal.
Yeah, people complain that the longbow skill animation on non-armored enemies was unrealistic, and the devs replied, "Yeah, it's not supposed to be. It's a freaking like it's an anti-armor bow. If you hit someone in the head with it, they're not gonna just collapse."
The half bow, you get a headshot and a guy just like, his head flicks back and then he drops to his knees and falls over. The usual like headshot kill animation for a game. You headshot someone with a longbow in this game, it's like you fucking shot him with an anti-tank rifle.
Because those types of bows are practically were anti-tank rifles of the time.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's just comical. Like, not only do they go flying, but sometimes they do fucking flips in the air. And, like, Pink, I am not exaggerating here. Like, you shoot someone in the head with a longbow in this game, they get sent flying back like 10 or 20 feet sometimes.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
It's downright comical when you shoot a sniper off his perch at the start of a stealth segment. Because the guy just goes flying and then lands like right in front of his buddies off the top of the tower. It's just something comical about a guy getting hit by an arrow, like, and it doesn't logically obey physics either, because like for it to have that much force, it'd have to have that much knockback on the person firing it, right?
Yeah.
So like Jin doesn't get sent flying at all, but you just see this Mongol get hit square in the chest with a longbow arrow. And he just goes flying back, and you can almost just kind of mentally hear the Mongol going, "Oh, fuck!"
Dude, is this when I go into the freaking the shitty ass conspiracy theories that people have made or whatever the hell, like the on release people were like, obviously Jin doesn't suffer knockback from the longbow because he's dead.
Oh, yeah, because he's a literal ghost of Tsushima. There might actually be some, like, concrete, like, there might actually be some weight to that theory, because the game does start with Jin, like, getting fucking brutalized in a way that a human should not be able to survive.
I mean, Jin dies twice in the first, like, 20 minutes, so...
Yeah, he does, you're right!
Because you could argue about the first time he dies, that, oh, maybe he survived that. Then he's thrown off of a freaking bridge.
After getting cut up by a Mongol, like a big fucking Mongol with a pole arm.
Yeah. So...
And the first time he gets medical attention. The second time, he just kind of fishes himself out of the river and keeps on trucking.
Yeah. And so that's and the fact that literally right after that is when we're introduced to the wind mechanic and how they explain that in lore, which that it's not freaking. I don't think it's spoilers because it happens in the first like hour.
Yeah, it's not.
So,
I think it's a very important part of the story actually that Jin's dad is fucking dead. So,
well, not that he's dead. But that he's the wind.
Oh yeah, they just straight up say that. Yeah, they just straight up say like your dad watches you follow the wind.
Yeah, not just that. Shimura says it's either Shimura or I forget her name. They
don't introduce the maid until Act 2, actually.
No, she's there on the funeral as well.
Ah, she is? Oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I just didn't notice that she was supposed to be anyone special. I thought she was just a villager.
Yeah, me too. I had to play through the game the second time to notice her.
Yeah, and of course...
Yeah?
No, go ahead.
It's either her or Shimura that says something like, "Oh, your father, your parents are watching over you. Your father is the wind behind your back, and your mother is the birds leading your way," or something like that. Which is it's an okay way to introduce those game mechanics.
Yeah, though the birds aren't special though, because like several villagers also mention the birds guiding them on a path.
But yeah, but then Jin's mother gets around.
Yeah, but by the way, yeah, Pink, Ghost of Tsushima, a lot of the mechanics work on, oh yeah, the Japanese are magic.
Ah, of course.
I do find it funny that a couple times you run into villagers and the villagers are like, oh my god, there's a fucking kami out there, there's a demon. And it's like, oh, well, obviously this villager has gone mad, that's absurd. But then the game is also like, yo, your dad is the wind and it always knows where to lead you.
Yeah.
Like, is the supernatural real or is it not? Pick one.
I think it's supposed to be a thing of like, they're trying to introduce things that they would have believed at the time, but it's actually just like Jin is good at tracking.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a surprising amount of detective segments in this game. I was kind of confused by that. Fucking Detective Jin is on the case quite a lot.
That's interesting.
That he is.
What else did I want to mention? I think I mentioned this last week, but I want to mention it again because it's such a nice touch, such a nice attention to detail. But the 3 different upgrade levels for your Tanto, the fact that they not only make stealth kills quicker and quieter, but that they also change the animations, I love.
Yeah.
Because I love the tier 1, like, I don't know if Pink's listening right now, because this would be fairly big as a sign of game quality. Hey! So, when you have your little knife at tier 1, like, all of Jin's stealth kills are really, like, shit. He's really terrible at it, and he has to, like, awkwardly wrestle with the guys as he's stabbing them or trying to choke them out.
Right.
Like, there's one where he just sticks the knife in their ribs and then just is, like, awkwardly wrestling with them to try and snap their neck, and it takes him, like, half a second or 2. And when you get it up to tier 2, he gets a lot more efficient. Like, a lot more efficient. And I don't know what the stealth kills look like at tier 3. Does, like, Jin just fucking look at them and their necks snap?
I mean, nearly. tier 3, the tier 3 kill animation. I actually don't know if there's multiple. I forget because I haven't played the game in a while. But the tier 3 kill animation that I remember seeing the most is Jin just stands up behind them and literally just like clips the sword through their neck and pulls it out immediately, puts it back on his belt.
That's a tier 2 kill animation actually.
Oh.
It's a rare one, but he still does it from time to time. He'll just go up behind the guy and walk on by. And you're really lucky when you get it, because the other tier 2 kill animations are quite a bit longer.
Yeah, that's the one you get, but I think it may be sped up a bit. I forget. Oh well.
Yeah.
It's either sped up or you get it basically exclusively. And oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to mention. So this is something that I would notice because I think I'm the only one of us who goes out of their way to play games in Japanese sometimes. And this game, I felt it was fitting because I played through the game with the normal freaking English dub anyway beforehand.
Yeah.
So for the second playthrough, I went with the Japanese dub, and something I actually noticed in their dialogue that because historically speaking, Jin wouldn't have had a katana because katanas wouldn't exist for like another 300 years or something like that. I forget. He would have had a tachi. In the Japanese dialogue, whenever they talk about his sword, they refer to it as a tachi.
All right.
Which I thought was a nice touch because people did complain about this.
Yeah. I did notice. I did hear that Sucker Punch really wanted to put a lot of emphasis on being accurate to medieval Japanese culture. At least partly because they got so much criticism for the rather bland way they handled ambiguous Native American culture in infamous Second Son. Which, neither of you guys played Second Son, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I watched a playthrough.
They do feature Dead Sarah. It's great.
Dead Sarah?
Banned at the end credits or beginning credits. I don't know which one because I like I said, I've not played it.
Yeah, I did like their cover of it was their cover of
Heart-Shaped Box.
Heart-Shaped Box. Yes, Heart-Shaped Box. My brain just short-wired and was just going to list off random Nirvana songs. Like, oh, hey, their cover of Come As You Are. You know, a very different song from Heart-Shaped Box, but okay. Yeah, I did enjoy that cover. I should probably look up if it's on Spotify. But what I was going to say is, that game, like, it's been a long time since I played through Second Son, actually, come to think of it. Because I want to say Second Son was like the 3rd or 4th game I ever played on PS4. So that would have been, oh my fucking god, about 7 years ago now.
Wasn't that a launch title?
It was, yes, it was.
Oh, man.
And yeah, the launch lineups are usually rough. Sony's done a good job of making sure the PS5's launch lineup is good, but yeah, usually launch lineups are rough. And yeah, what I remember of Second Son's handling of Native Americans is you're just like, they never actually directly say what tribe Delson is supposed to be from, but you are on a reservation, you've got totem poles, and you live in a longhouse. And I don't think that there was ever a Native American tribe that did both of those things. I'm pretty sure the totem pole was a Southwest Native American thing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. I'm pretty sure you're right.
And the
And the
longhouse was
longhouse would be northeast.
very much an Iroquois thing. Very much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, Second Son came out at like only a year after Assassin's Creed 3, and Assassin's Creed 3 was super accurate with its depiction of the Iroquois tribes. So there was a very definite distinction there between here's an accurate depiction of Native Americans, here's an inaccurate depiction of Native Americans. And Eddie, I've actually got a question. I don't remember something. I definitely remember that you start out when you first play as Connor. You start out in a longhouse. But do those longhouses like stay permanently burnt down after what's his name, Charles Smith or whoever comes through?
Oh, Charles Lee.
Charles Lee, yeah.
Does
Connor run into any other Native Americans after his tribe gets wiped out?
Let me think. So, well, when it comes to the houses, I think they're rebuilt, but I'm not sure. But I believe they're rebuilt.
Huh, alright.
And then once the whole thing with Kanan Tokong goes down, I think I said that right, but I can't be sure because I don't speak the language.
Very few people do now.
I think once that whole thing goes down, I think everyone is forced on the Trail of Tears or something.
Yes.
And then the game's ending is Connor meeting up with I don't remember if it was a native person or not. I think it wasn't, but I can't be sure. But he meets up with a person where the tribe used to live, and it's all been emptied, and there's only the buildings now.
Okay. Didn't Assassin's Creed 3 run like some kind of equivalent of like, oh my god, they put them on the Trail of Tears, clearly this is a Templar scheme. And then you find out, oh, the Templars actually had nothing to do with this one. This is just humans being shit.
I don't remember if they explicitly said anything about the Trail of Tears. I know that the whole thing of Connor finding.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have been the proper Trail of Tears because the proper Trail of Tears wouldn't happen for another 40 or 50 years. But yes.
But yeah. Well, the natives would have been pushed out of the place where they lived.
Yeah, that happened plenty of times before the Trail of Tears. Yes.
Yeah. But I don't remember if they ever explicitly said whether or not that was a Templar thing. But I believe it wasn't, because the person who set fire to Connor's to the place where Connor's tribe lived wasn't actually Charles Lee. He just happened to be there looking for Connor or Tatum, I forget.
Yeah, I definitely remember hearing about that revelation.
But yeah, it wasn't actually him. I think it was Washington.
Yeah, it was George Washington. Like, that's the big plot revelation of the game, is that Washington is actually the one responsible for everything fucked up in Connor's life.
Yeah, and then Connor doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. To be fair, Connor gets his revenge on George Washington in an alternate timeline.
Well, it's not even an alternate timeline. Him and George Washington touched the same piece of Eden or something like that, like the same Apple disc that has memories contained or whatever, something like that. It looked like a disc to me.
You should have called it an apple slice.
But it looked more like a pineapple slice.
It doesn't matter.
But then anyway, they touch a piece of Eden, and they're both transported into like. They both get drugged by it, basically, and both of them live out a thing where Washington was the ruler, was the tyrannical king of New York or something like that. Like Connor killed him, and then they both wake up and they're like, okay, we won't speak about this again. when they leave. That's how the DLC ends.
Yeah.
But-
Alright. I don't know. I kind of prefer just the idea of it being an alternate reality. I don't know. I would be interested to see a version of Assassin's Creed where they just go with completely bullshit alternate realities. Not the regular bullshit alternate realities where it's like, oh, here's the actual historical events, but it was because of the Assassins and Templars.
They do that. It's called the Odyssey DLC, the Atlantis DLC.
Well, that's still canon though, isn't it? Even though you go in there and like, fucking
It is canon because the modern day parts are not set in the alternate reality. Well, it's complicated, you see. So in the Odyssey DLC, what happens is Layla, through reliving the memories of Alexios or Cassandra, whichever one you chose in the normal game, Layla relives the memories of them being literally there, and then them also going through a different, basically an older version of the Animus, reliving the memories of the Isu, the one who came before, that's helping both Layla and the protagonist character. Or well, it's not just her memories; it's her memories as well as other people's memories who were also the alien people.
Yeah.
That also happened to be the Greek gods.
Yeah.
and you live
did
through.
You say like Darius shows up too or something?
No, that's normal canon. That's not alternate canon.
Oh, I guess if Odyssey starts with 300, then yeah, I guess Darius could just show up. Or wait, would Darius have been the king of the emperor of Persia at that time, or would it have been Cyrus? No, Cyrus fought the Babylonians. Darius fought the Greeks. Or no, Xerxes. Wasn't it Xerxes, Pink?
It was Xerxes.
Yeah, wouldn't Darius have been already dead by the time of the 300? Okay.
Pink.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
That was an awkward time for your mic.
Talking like, why are they not understanding? You've got it right so far. Oh wait, I'm not connected.
Yeah.
But yeah, that DLC was weird, and I mean it was written without not only without a freaking lore master, because Ubi didn't have a lore master for the past 3 years, and I don't think they have one even now, or maybe they got one. I'm not sure. But not only was that DLC written without a lore master, it was also written by someone in EA who had nothing to do with the series.
I honestly would say, like, why should they even bother to pay someone for that? Because people just buy Assassin's Creed anyways.
Very true.
But yeah, freaking. What even happened in the normal in the Legacy of the First Blade DLC? Well, the proper story of Odyssey is set like, I don't know, at least like 50 years after freaking the 300. So.
Oh, so even Xerxes would be dead. Fuck.
Yeah, even Xerxes would be dead, and then I don't know how long the actual game story takes, and then the Legacy of the First Blade DLC is set after the proper game story, where you just kind of sort of meet up with Darius with his son or daughter, I forget, and then that's where the marriage comes from. And yeah, things happen. Not things that matter, but things. And then after that, you go into the Atlantis DLC, and that's just reliving mythological things things that happen in Greek myth, which some people would have liked, or some people will like, or do like. I don't freaking know. The execution wasn't really good, if you ask me.
There's a lot of things that ain't been executed good with Odyssey, and I like that we've now already circled back around. Because now a lot of the reviews I heard for Valhalla were like, oh yeah, it's way too much of the same. And it's like, well, it's nice to see Ubisoft has gone back to old ways.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm just glad that Sucker Punch gave us a new Assassin's Creed game after freaking like a whole generation skip, because
an Assassin's Creed game with actual innovations on the formula and a much better gameplay structure.
Yes. Like the best part of Tsushima to me is that like it's not like it literally just took freaking Brotherhood and just improved upon it, because it does that to me, because Brotherhood is my golden standard for the Assassin's Creed series. But at the same time, I can see parts of the new RPG Assassin's Creed games that it also took, and it's also better in that as well.
Yeah.
Like Tsushima does the crouching stat better because Tsushima didn't spend like freaking 7 games being like, yo, no crouching stat, here, go stand between people.
Yeah.
So you're more likely to be like, okay, well, this is how Jin hides. But I kind of want them to be like, you know what? No, this is our thing now. And then in Two Ghost Tsushima, just to add social stealth, because why not? Yubi doesn't have it under patent, so they can.
Well, I mean, if they when they inevitably do to Ghost Tsushima, what conflict would they even handle? Because I feel like the Sengoku is too obvious, but at the same time, the Sengoku is too ambitious. I worry, you know.
Well,
Right.
they could do the second Mongol invasion. If then that was a bit of a time apart, so Jin couldn't be alive. But I mean, we don't have a precedent set for whether or not Jin is supposed to be the protagonist of the series, or if he's just this ghost.
Well, I mean, I have to assume that they're going to rename it in some little way, but try and keep enough of the name that's still recognizable.
Yeah.
Because, like, they'll probably just find another island off the coast of Japan and be like, you know, Ghost of wherever. Or alternatively, they could go with, like, fucking Hero of Tsushima or something like that for something else that happened on Tsushima.
But yeah, so they could do the second Mongol invasion. That's what people have been rooting for either as DLC to this game. Although that's not going to happen because they've confirmed that they stopped supporting this game aside from the Legends mode, because they're working on the second game now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people are either rooting for a second Mongolian invasion, or they could do the Sengoku era and then just do things that happen close by, I guess, is the best way I could put it. Because like having all of Japan is not a realistic goal.
No.
And shouldn't, well, not only is it not a realistic goal, it shouldn't be a realistic goal, because that's when you get to freaking Assassin's Creed Odyssey maps, where it's just a lot of nothing. But it is a very large amount of nothing, but it's nothing.
The map of Ghost of Tsushima's map is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, the island of Izahara, where you start, like, well, it's more of a peninsula. The peninsula of Izahara, where you start, feels about as big as an old Grand Theft Auto 3 or Vice City map.
Yeah, and people before release, people were worried that the game was going to be too small because they kept it confined to this one island, and you know, because they're not trying to go for number, they're trying to go for they're not trying to do combo, they're trying to go for big damage.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
wonder, what if they went with something real fucking wacky? Skip it forward, like, 700 years into the future. The Russo-Japanese War. One of the northern islands. And you have guns. That'd be real fucking wacky.
yeah.
That'd be really interesting to go from their ancient weaponry straight up to guns.
Pink, there are the Mongols have guns in Ghost of Tsushima.
But can you use them?
You can use bombs, actually. You can steal bombs from them and use them.
You can also
like
you can also use guns. Well, you can also use one big gun, but gun nonetheless.
Oh, I've not gotten to that part yet. Okay.
Well, it's not actually just the one gun in the whole game. There are types of gun that you can use that the Mongols shipped over,
Huh, okay.
but you don't have it in your inventory and shit.
Yeah. So you don't get the big boomsticks that some of the Mongol warriors carry around in Act 2.
No, you just get to pick up an even bigger boomstick every once in a while.
Okay. So is it like one of those things where you burn down the camps?
No.
Okay. I guess I'll find out when I get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just the other day reading about, like, I went to look up how much information we actually know about the Mongol invasion of Tsushima, and I just glanced over the Wikipedia page, but it did explicitly state, like, the Mongol invasion of Tsushima was one of the first historical instances of gunpowder used in warfare outside of China. So, yeah, guns.
Yeah.
Jin himself can't use any, but yeah, you do run into, like, every camp will usually have, like, one big-ass Mongol dude carrying a big fucking boomstick. Which is, of course, horribly inaccurate. Well, not the gun itself is horribly inaccurate. As in, the gun can't aim for shit, so he just kind of tries to shoot it at point blank. But I assume it's historically accurate, because when we first tried to figure out guns, we sucked at them.
For quite a while.
I mean, like, I don't know if I would even describe that as a gun, because it's less a gun and more a hand cannon firing fireworks. But
it's kind of a blunderbuss with extraordinarily short range.
yeah,
Like, it's almost like a grenade, except it has a barrel on it, and the grenade detonates as soon as it leaves the barrel.
yeah. it's a fire launcher. Not a flamethrower, a fire launcher.
Those guys have killed more of their friendly Mongols than they have ever hit me. It's kind of incredible.
My favorite freaking Rube Goldberg machine that I set up accidentally with that was when a lot of people stood in a circle with one of those big guys, and there were also dogs.
Oh god!
The people, they made the circle bigger so they wouldn't get set on fire, but the dogs didn't. So the dogs got set on fire and went around the camp, setting the camp on fire.
Oh my god!
And everyone died.
I have never had them bother to dodge the. They'll dodge bombs, but they won't dodge their buddy with the blunderbuss. They just get fucking full body blasted with that shit.
Sometimes if they can't see them, then they don't jump out of the way.
Ah, okay.
But only sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Usually, and even then, like, usually they're more focused on you.
Yeah, the AI gets very, very aggressive sometimes. Anyways, yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay. There was actually one last thing I wanted to bring up that I forgot about, but I remembered because we talked about the launch titles. And I looked into Astro's game or Playroom or whatever, the thing that comes pre-installed on the PS5.
Yes.
There are surprising references that you will like.
I've definitely seen the Devil May Cry and Bloodborne references.
Okay. Do you mind if I spoil the best one?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. So on the highway level or whatever in the map, there's Pyramid Head, and it's the lead up to the rape scene.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, they put that in that game.
Wait, is Pyramid Head in the kitchen with two mannequins? They just don't show you what he's doing?
No, it's Pyramid Head. Pulling one of the mannequins on the ground, and the mannequin is trying to run away.
Oh, it's Pyramid Head pulling a mannequin. Wow, that's a smart choice. Because that's not like overly explicit, but it's still very Pyramid Head. It's probably the most iconic image of Pyramid Head, other than him dragging the knife behind him. You know?
Yeah.
I am very surprised by that. I get that it makes sense because Silent Hill is very much considered a PlayStation classic. Silent Hill 1 was a PlayStation 1 exclusive. I'm just shocked to see, like, Konami won't fucking get around to revealing whatever they're doing with Silent Hill. But Sony will be like, yo, remember Pyramid Head?
Yeah, when I saw that reference, the first thing that came to me as well was like, so Sony is just going, if Konami won't make a new Silent Hill, we will.
Yeah. Silent Hill Cute Edition. Oh no. Would that make the game more disturbing, honestly?
Yes.
It depends. How much do they make it into like an honorary game type of deal? Because those types of games are the ones that usually have the cute killer mascot like freaking Monokuma, all of this Danganronpa.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought the Nonary games were just the texted, what's they're called? Visual novel type ones where it's like, you and 9 others have been trapped by a serial killer in a hotel that's about to explode. You have 9 hours.
Yeah, the serial killer is a rabbit.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
I don't remember if the reveal was that one of the people where was the rabbit, but the way they show themselves is a rabbit. It's a freaking Enso rabbit. Ah, shit.
That's always the classic bit to go with, like, oh yeah, the killer is actually one of you or a corpse that's on the floor, a la Saw, you know?
Yeah.
Alright. So, I believe we can call that a podcast. Addy!
Yeah.
Say bye. Oh, he said bye. Fuck. We'll see you later, folks. Oh, God. We'll see you later, folks.